Start with my famous saying, we're still here, but today could be the day. 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours. Getting the update. All right, Raya, you can have the TV back. Just put it lower though. Guess what?
I get my TV.
Guess what? She gets her TV, and we're still waiting. Hey, Daniel. This is going to be the typical live. Put it lower, Raya, please. Where we're talking. We're talking to the world right now. We're telling them about all of our preparations for an imminent, love that word, imminent attack from Iran right now. Imminent. It's been imminent for about 2 weeks, so we're about the 2-week mark now since the cycle began, which was a retaliation. So the first thing that happened was that there was a rocket from Hezbollah that killed 12 children in Israel in a Druze village. Then after that, Israel went after two of its, they went after first a Hezbollah guy, Fuad Shuka, and then also assassinated a couple hours later in Tehran. First one was in Beirut, second one in Tehran, the capital of Iran. And, oh, wow, Daniel, can you put that lower? Wow, he's just drinking straight from the, excuse me. All right, we're getting feedback. Dad, can you put it lower? Okay. All right, yeah, all bets are off because we're in full-on summer vacation. Forget the war and forget the attack. So if you have been anywhere near the news today, everybody's like they're in a lather right now. They're foaming, that this is it. I mean, I love it. Like I follow different channels, and there's the real news outlets, and then there's the channels, which ultimately I just remembered today, they're actually just influencers, and influencers aren't reporters, but they get their influence from their opinion and from putting out their stuff. So there's oh, thank you, Daniel. Thank you. But the warmonger crowd is going at it. Why? Because tonight is it. Tonight is, if you've heard anything, tonight is Tisha B'Av, which is the 9th of Av, which is on the, oh, good, you hung up on, sorry, he hung up on you, Mom and Dad. Now I don't hear the feedback. So the 9th of Av is Av is a month on the Jewish calendar, and this date has traditionally been one where catastrophic events happen to the Jewish people or to Israel. So the destruction of both of the temples, like the destruction of the first temple, then the destruction of the second temple. There's all sorts of you can look it up, and you've got this lineup of events. And so these days, the Jews will, oh, hey, thanks. Thank you to saying thanks. Daniel says hi too. So these days, for a while now. So how Jews observe Tisha B'Av, it's a somber day. Like right now feels like a Shabbat. It's began at this evening, and I mean restaurants are shut down. It's like dark outside. The roads are empty. People fast, and they're at the Western Wall praying, and they read the Book of Lamentations. So a lot of people are expecting that because of the tradition or because of the history of there being attacks or calamities that happen on this day, that for sure that Iran and Hezbollah, they've waited. Like if they haven't done anything up till now, the fact that they didn't do it right away, like, breathing revenge, like it's 3 days of mourning and then an attack. Okay, all right, the week, memorial and then an attack. And now we're at 2 weeks. But 2 weeks puts us at Tisha B'Av. And so, of course, if any destruction is going to happen, it should happen now, right? Like, obviously, like, because, so we're sitting here waiting. And so everybody in the channel is saying 24 to 48 hours, there's a definite attack. Actually, I am getting attacked right now by Mary Poppins. Can you go watch that in my room? Yeah, because it's loud. And nobody wants to hear that. I mean, probably a lot of people do. You want to hear Mary Poppins? Okay. Oh, gosh, here's a real question. I'm sorry. I got Mary Poppins in one ear. And the level of preparedness. Hi, Israel. What's the level of severity on the anticipated attack? Boots on the ground, air attack. So very interesting. I've heard a bunch of things. And the thing is, we don't actually... Here's like all the different things I've heard. And none of these are necessarily confirmed. One, even to the, keep going, keep it going, thank you. One is that Hezbollah, which is based in southern Lebanon, might actually launch a ground invasion. Now, I thought about that. That seems kind of futile because Israel has evacuated up till, I think, 3 or 4 kilometers from the border of Lebanon. Sorry, I want to kill mosquito, to, from the border of Lebanon. So, hey, somebody here, lead Daniel into the bedroom, please, with his thing. Israel says, like, I'll tell you right now, Israel said it's at its highest level of preparedness. And we just heard right before I got on the Army spokesperson. Yeah, you can walk by, Lucas. The Army spokesperson said that there's no change in the Home Front Command directives for the people. But they said, what I heard on the news right before he spoke, they said that Israel's got both offensive and defensive units on alert. So the Air Force is ready to go if need be, but also that all of the defensive systems, which is the Iron Dome, the David Sling, the Arrow, all these different, aerial protective systems. The other thing that is important to know is that the U.S. has sent a lot of battleships to the area, and also they have sent a lot of military backup. That the Air Force, I believe that they've landed fighter planes in the area as well. And so we've been saying, like, for a while, like, everybody's building up, and it really looked like perhaps like the deterrence and the diplomatic solutions were working. But then, along with the usual, like, channels that I follow that are like, oh my God, any minute attack. And they've been saying any minute for 2 weeks now. Now, Fox News actually just reported that something could happen between 24 to 48 hours from now, that there would be an actual attack. Now, there has been, over the last 2 weeks as well, different ideas of how this is going to happen. Like, for instance, is this thing I just heard about Hezbollah with the ground invasion. Okay, not so sure about that. But Hezbollah has an arsenal of 150,000 rockets, missiles, precision guided, long range, not like what Israel faced with Hamas, with short range and very crude homemade rockets that they launched. They still have some, by the way, and every so often you do get a rocket alert. So we're looking at, like, several fronts if this really transpires. So Hezbollah with its 150,000, and of course now they're closer, they're right here. So you're talking about seconds to minutes of an alert. There is an alert system. I will tell you, in April, when we were alerted, sitting here waiting actually for the rockets to start flying in, and the drones, they came primarily from Iran. We're waiting for those, and I actually saw flashes in the sky and went running out to the balcony, and I saw things exploding over our balcony before, like probably a full minute or two before sirens. So anyway, we do have an alert system, but I'm not, anyway, thank God we also have defensive system, air systems. So, all right, so the other fronts, Iran itself, so every weapon that they can send will take longer. They have ground to ground missiles that they can send. They have the ballistics. They think they take between 6 to 12 minutes, like between the drones, hours. Sorry, we're talking more about hours when it's coming from there. And then there's also Yemen. Yemen is involved, has been chomping at the bit. The Houthis are chomping at the bit all the time to get involved, and they have launched rockets. None of them have been deadly. Few of them have even crossed into Israeli airspace, but they have been doing that for months now, since right after October 7th attacks. So that's been going on. Now there is talk that Hezbollah actually cleared out of Beirut, or of their known bases, like wherever they're operating, like the places that Israel would know about, and that they're which means that they are planning for an attack, so that that when Israel responds, that they won't be in the expected places. Now, something interesting you also need to know, with all that we've been talking about imminent, this imminent attack and what's happening, and there's a lot of people that say, like, well, why isn't Israel striking preemptively? Like a lot of people are expecting that, like in right-wing Israelis saying, like, well, preemptive, why are we sitting here like sitting ducks? And yet, as the spokesman just pointed out, and I've been saying, like, they haven't not attacked, like on a given day. A lot of Israel's attacks aren't like, let's drop a bomb. I mean, sorry, outside of Gaza, the attacks is very different. Like in Gaza, it's like more general, and a whole building will go down, and a lot of people killed, a lot of civilians also getting killed there. Now, when Israel attacks Hezbollah and Iran and places like that, they're doing like targeted strikes, like the one where they got Fuad Shukr in a building in Beirut. They knew he was there, and immediately after the attack, Israel not only claimed responsibility, but they also said, "Oh, and he's dead." Like that, it took Hezbollah a day to confirm that he actually was. Now, also then, there was the attack in Iran that nobody has claimed credit for, and the whole world thinks Israel did, which was that the head of Hamas was taken out on foreign soil in Tehran when he attended the Iranian president's inauguration. And that night, in his guest room, something happened, whether still, not confirmed, whether there was a bomb in his room planted there months ago, or whether it was a drone strike from afar. So anyway, so nobody knows about that. So, okay. By the way, there's a terror attack right now at the Kalandia checkpoint. 2 Palestinians were killed. Looks like maybe it was against soldiers. It's breaking news. That's happening right now. Okay. Okay. So there's something happening right now. There's a shooting at a checkpoint in Kalandia, the Kalandia checkpoint, and it looks like, I mean, I don't want to report anything yet. Breaking news is always like, it's whatever. I'm not gonna. It's usually inaccurate, so we won't say anything yet. There was another terror attack yesterday shooting in the Jordan Valley, and I think two guys in a passing car that was apparently a stolen Israeli car. They shot with M16s, and one guy was killed, I believe, in his 20s. So anyway, so now another front that we haven't really talked about. You heard the sirens in the background, Israel? Yes, that was just police. And it's funny because it's right just as I'm talking about this. And I was thinking Clendy is relatively close, but not at all close, just probably ambulance. So yeah, I'm not concerned. Like, it's so funny. Like, you have because I got here during the Intifada, you have this, like, the Intifada was like the uprisings when there were a lot of terror attacks, and it was generally like unsafe, or felt like, I don't know, you just felt a lot more tension than you do now, believe it or not. I'm sitting here 24 to 48 hours, and there was more tension back then, like 2001, 2002. So you got used to like you would do this thing subconsciously, like you'd say, oh, there's a siren, and then you would just continue doing whatever you're doing or talking or whatever. And then you hear a second siren, it registers in your subconscious, like, okay, there's two sirens, and you carry on. But once it's three, you're like, all right, let me check the news. What's happening? And by the time you hear three sirens, you're like, yeah, for sure, there was an attack. So these days, that's much less, thank God. So I don't. Anyway, I'm not concerned about that siren at the moment. If there was more, but there were, yeah. Probably he just wanted to go through the red light. Let's be honest. That siren was like, I'm not waiting at the red light. Okay, so other things I was going to say, the other front, the other possible front. Oh, and I'll get to your question, Israel, about the stocking up. The other front that's possible, and as I mentioned, terror attacks, is that the Palestinians, yes, Gaza, if Hamas still has weapons, they would, most likely, there's nothing stopping them. The Israeli army still in Gaza, but I don't see why they don't have a reason to not join. But there's the West Bank, which is geographically in a different area. It's like, outside of, north of Jerusalem, and then south of Jerusalem. It's like, kind of looks like a lima bean shape. Anyway, Palestinians that live there, that is where a lot of the attacks are stemming from, the terror attacks. So that is another possible front. So I think that Hamas claimed credit for the attack from yesterday. And if that's the case, like, they do have their groups, and there's a lot of unrest in the West Bank. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of prisoners, Palestinian prisoners. They're held without charge, and for their stays are usually extended. And then, because it's a security issue, Israel doesn't have to give like the reasons for the detention, and so there's a lot of this has been going on for years. It's not like just recently. I mean, there is recent news with the current war and detainees, but this kind of stuff, and that foments on unrest, and so that could be what we see as kind of more of an overflow of unrest. And especially if Hamas is inciting, and if Iran is inciting and paying maybe as well, then yeah, that's another front, and that is probably the least controllable. It may not be as widespread dangerous because it'd be like single attacks, but it would also be the least easy to control, because it's very porous. We're not talking about borders, we're talking about neighborhoods. Like, here's one neighborhood, here's another, and there's barely it's not borders. So anyway, so that would be very complicated. Okay, so as far as stocking up, we were not given orders to stock up, and people have anyway. I would say that I am so surprised, but I'll tell you that Israelis can be divided into those who have been panicking from 2 weeks ago, when this was said that, okay, there's going to be Iran and Hezbollah, like, where they're breathing revenge, and it's going to happen. And then there are the ones who, well, I mean, I don't want to say they don't care, because I fall into this category, the second category, which is like, we're not living in concern. We're not living in our bomb shelters. I did suggest that today maybe we should get more water, and in any case, our bomb shelter is not here. It's downstairs on the first floor, so that's not stocked, because if I put anything in there, it's going to get taken anyway. The bomb shelters aren't locked. I don't know if that's good or bad these days, but since October 7th, there was like, because there were a lot of rockets in those first couple days, the bomb shelters have remained unlocked, because imagine like you're rushing and you're like, oh, I got to open this thing and like open this big heavy iron door. So they should remain open. But then again, the shelters are where a lot of people were killed on October 7th. I don't know how my kids are living through this. So anyway, Raya, are you scared? Raya?
You talk about it every day. It's annoying.
It's annoying. It's not scary. It's annoying. Okay, so. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing, we've been out, like, we're out last weekend, we're out this weekend, we're, we're living our lives. Oh, Tony's out he's playing basketball. I don't know if he's in this neighborhood or that one. I mean, so we're not stopping, and we haven't stopped. And I will tell you though, if there was, when they said Iran is attacking and it shall come in, the rockets will arrive here in 8 hours. Well, then, yeah, okay, fine. We got that. We're good. But as far as, the right now, like nobody told us to stock up. We have extra water. We did like throw around a few canned goods, I guess, because I don't know, you need canned goods. Like, does anybody eat canned goods? Can you please tell me in the comments, do you eat canned goods? And if so, which ones should we stock up on? And then wait a second. I just thought of this. So we get a bunch of canned goods. We have to have utensils too. And if we're going to a shelter, anyway, I can't envision that we're actually going to be spending more than one siren alert in the shelter. Okay. That's where I'm at. And I know this is not fun, because like, I can tell you the channels that are fun have like 54 messages every hour saying like, oh my God, oh, anyway. So I'll read you some more headlines. Like, here's one. The assessment today is that an Iranian attack is expected in the immediate time frame. And then we had the IDF spokesman saying nothing new, but he did say, we will inform you as soon as possible, but without giving our enemies an operational advantage. So maybe they do know. Let's see. IDF. Oh, Wall Street Journal said the IDF raised its alert level. Fox News, remember, said 24 to 48 hours. Raya, you got a shout out. Tuna fish. Okay, tuna. We did get tuna fish, but then I'll have to share with that one over there.
Mom.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Scare the fly away before she can break.
Could you please do that? Oh my goodness. See, these are the attacks we have going on. If only she would kill mosquitoes. Oh boy. All right, don't worry about her. She'll get down. There's thankfully there's no bug there now for her to jump at. Wow.
From where did I get a shout out?
Right here. Oh, that's Nava's aunt. Danielle. From America.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Jeanette. Yes. And you're here to understand it, right?
My name is Raya.
Thank you.
R-A-I-A.
And Jeanette, she's waiting for you. So
Mimi, tuna
Jeanette
fish.
is our friend that we don't get to see, because usually she's here when we're not. And and Jeanette has been our cat sitter. But anyway, hopefully I see you this time because we're here and you're here. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and also I told you about the West Bank. Okay, here's the Fox News. Iran can attack Israel the next one in less than 24 hours. Lebanese media. Yes, I told you about that Hezbollah has evacuated its headquarters. Okay. Meanwhile, we're not, I am sad to say that we're not talking about Gaza because there is still a war going on there. And this is taking all the attention. This non-war is taking all the attention for what's happening over there. And by the way, there's a lot of news I don't get because I have, as a reporter, I feel like, and maybe this would be something like for you where you're at, where you live, but the local news is your best news. And then there's a saying like all news is local. And that's really true. Like you end up wherever you live, you probably end up reading the local media because you want to know what's happening in your backyard. And the local media, the local reporters are more in tune because of the language, because of the culture, because they get it, they have history, and they cultivate better sources. So for instance, so that's why I generally I watch the Israeli news in English and Hebrew. Like I read the English news and I will watch the the Hebrew channels, but I feel like I would know more if I could speak Arabic and understand Arabic and get the Arab channels as well. And I'll tell you what, the Arab channels their news is like a completely different narrative than the Israeli news. And it's like they're coming from completely different starting points of the basis of the event or the truth, whatever happened. And so I'm mind blown when I go from one to the other. Now, I used to watch Al Jazeera because it's Arabic news in English, like they're based in Arab countries, and it's they're generally mother tongue Arabic speakers. The channel though is from Doha. It's and that's where Hamas hangs out as well. So I understand like that they have a bias, but Israel banned them. So now I don't even get like so many pictures of Gaza. Now I did get pictures like from people I know of like outreaches that they've done and stuff like that over there to try to feed the people. There really is. I mean, I know like the very pro-Israel crowd was thinks that like there's no famine in Gaza. And I don't know how you define famine, but people are hungry and they aren't eating great food. And maybe you can say, oh, it's the humanitarian aid it's Hamas's fault. It's not getting there, whatever. Okay. But to the child sitting right there, who's not involved in the politics and the who and the how, the child's hungry. And so there have been churches there that have sponsored outreaches, and I did see some pictures of that. But otherwise, I don't know much of what's going on there right now, and I think the world is entirely focused on this. So another thing, and which is why I also was wondering if this was going to happen, this attack in particular, because there is a summit on Thursday for the hostage negotiations. So this is America's involved. I think Egypt, like more involved than usual. Like everybody was really like looking to this like deterrent, but also ceasefire hostage. Like Hamas wants the ceasefire plus Israeli withdrawal. And Israel wants the hostages back. Now, interesting thing about this, today, I'm going to have to look for the exact quote, so while this is going on, the defense minister said, let me get his quote. He apparently said in a closed meeting that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's promises of, quote, absolute victory are gibberish, and he questioned his courage to make tough decisions to achieve the aim of total victory. Netanyahu apparently, he said, oh, wait, and insisted he's aligned. Okay. But of course, he backtracked it and whatever. Gallant backtracked it. And, I had the quote. Netanyahu was very upset about that. And they put out a statement. I got to find it. Okay. Saying that when Gallant adopts the anti-Israel narrative, he harms the chances of reaching a hostage deal. He should have attacked Sinwar, who is the new leader of Hamas. He's the military leader in Gaza, but was appointed to take the place of the one who was assassinated in Tehran. He should have attacked Sinwar, who is refusing to send a delegation to the negotiations, who has been and remains the only obstacle to a hostage deal. Israel has only one choice to achieve total victory, which means eliminating Hamas's military and governing capabilities and releasing our hostages. So Netanyahu's definition of total victory has been, well, actually, I don't know, undefined. Elimination of Hamas, whatever that means. Now, a lot of the other leaders have said you can't really do that. I think the spokesman once said Hamas is an ideology, not just an organization. So it would be very difficult to actually eliminate them. And the other thing was that Israel kept changing, moving the goalposts in terms of like, okay, we need to just get the north is under control. Now we need the south, and then we need the Philadelphia corridor, and we need to get into Rafah. And so Israel's been in Rafah for about 2 months now. And while things are stable, it has not produced any hostages. There was that one rescue of the 4 couple in June. It was a couple months ago. And that's it. Since then, there's been nothing. So anyway, so Hamas said, everybody was like looking forward to this, like this could really be the deal, the hostage deal. But Hamas just, said we're not going to be there. We're not showing up. The other thing I heard is that, and let me confirm this, I think Amos Hochstein, who is like the U.S. negotiator for, let me see if there's a news story I can confirm, that he is going to be in Lebanon tomorrow, because if that's the case, I pretty much doubt that was not coordinated in advance with Israel, and means there will not be an attack / revenge. Okay, I can't find that. I mean, it was one thing I heard in passing on the news, and I'll probably never find it again. So if he's here, that ain't happening. So anyway, in summary, we have water. We're sleeping in our beds, though, not in the bomb shelter. We have, I know, right?
You know what we should do? We should get a thing so we can put snacks and put it in the bomb shelter in case we have to sleep there.
Yeah, so pack.
But you say that every night and it never happens.
Well, I know, but like now they say now it's going to happen. I mean, I don't know if I want to believe it, but we could pack if you want. I was thinking we move this mattress to the bomb shelter. We have a mattress here. We should move it to the bomb shelter.
We should.
Could you? How gross is it down there?
Disgusting. There's a bathroom that has a
Oh no, the bathroom is not functional. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. So we are not panicking. We're not even close to panicking. Probably instead of watching the news, we'll watch an episode of Monk, and then the kids will go to bed. And I might put our shoes by the door, but out of an abundance of precaution, not actually fear or worry at the moment. And I know that's so boring, and I know we could be totally wrong, but in any case, we have 90 seconds to get to the bomb shelter this way or that way, so we should be good, right? I mean, whether I'm panicking or not panicking, it's the same amount of time. And gosh, anything else? I don't know. If you have any questions, shoot them my way. I hope I've answered them all. Like I sometimes I have to remember to go back, like open Facebook, go back and respond. And I will try to be better about that. Okay, so looking for the last rounds. I think we're pretty good. High alert, high alert, high alert, high alert. We're all on high alert. We're on high alert. We're on high alert. So everybody's ready. That's all I can say. And I will, so tune in, subscribe, because if something does happen, and the if is big, and it's like in the middle of the night here, hopefully not for you, I will probably try to get in a live, or something anyway, while we're running. That sounds sadistic, right? But whatever, like within the realm of safety. So go to YouTube, go to my YouTube channel, which is like do youtube.com/ or at Nicoolness, NICOOLNESS, and subscribe, and then click for the alerts so that you can find out, because you're living on the edge like us, right? Like anything, it could happen anytime. So, all right, that being said, I'm going to go so we can go watch an episode of Monk and then end this evening. And thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for your prayers, and thanks for your canned food suggestions. I really appreciate it. And we'll be stocking up on all of that stuff and probably eating it before we ever get to the bomb shelter. So anyway, thank you.